Happy Saturday! This is the officially unofficial Geek channel here with your, well, kind of comic roundup. So this week is really a light week in comics, which is really good because I can tell you I was a little light on funds as well. But anyways, hi, I am Carrie Quinn. I am your host as always for the weekly comic roundup, and we're doing things a little bit differently than usual this week. This week, we do not, as usual, have a pile of comics to talk about. We have one in particular to talk about that's new, mind you. So, how am I going to fill the rest of the time? Well, believe me, I thought about it and I came up with a solution. I hope you like it. Like I said, this is the officially unofficial Geek channel here on YouTube. This is my weekly comic roundup, and let's talk comics, guys. So, like I said, we're gonna do something a little bit different today. Um, this week, as you guys know, I didn't do my regular, random review video this week. I haven't done a main event video in a while. It's just because I gotta be honest with you, I have a regular day job and it has been quite taxing and stressful the last couple weeks. But you know what? I'm dealing with it, and obviously tomorrow's a holiday. Monday I've got a little time off, so maybe I'll get some stuff done. So that's good. Today had a really full day as well, even though I didn't go anywhere. I didn't really do much of anything, but I did finally I got to sit down and watch a long movie with my boyfriend. It was pretty great, and as always, we read a little bit, and I actually did a little bit of organization, a little bit, not a lot, guys, just a little bit. And the thing is the organization kind of broke down. As it normally does. Have you ever done something where you're trying to go through stuff that you haven't gone through before, or not before, but you haven't gone through in a while, and you find something, and then it's like, oh crap, I have this. So yeah, I had a moment like that today. So let's start off the show. First off, I'm gonna show you the comic. Then I'm going to show you actually a few trades, comic trades, two hardcovers and one paperback that I've actually read within the last few months, and I just haven't done a review for them yet. Um, Actually, one of them I finished just last night. And then, you know what? No, you know what? I'm going to show you my remembering find right away. Gesundheit River. My cat just sneezed. He has allergies, I think. Yeah, he's got allergies. He's like his mommy and sneezes at everything. Um, we're actually watching it. Yeah. So, um, yeah. So he's also in the room. He's playing with some stuff here. So, if you see me kind of looking around, that's because I'm looking at him just to make sure he's not getting into too much mischief. He does get into quite a bit of mischief. It just depends on what kind of mischief he's getting into, whether we don't want him to get into that mischief. So like I said, okay, back to the story. I did one of those things where I was like trying to organize things that I hadn't looked at in a long time. So there's this chest that I have a bunch of stuff in it. And honestly, it was kind of like, at some point in my last couple moves, it was like a catch-all of things like, holy shit, I don't have a place to put this. Let's put it in the chest and it'll get moved. And we won't have to think about it for goddamn ever. That's pretty much what happened. It's a chest. It's an older chest. I actually got it from another friend. And I've had it for a while. Like I said, the last couple moves I've done, it has been a catch-all. Um, like the typical kid, when you're sitting there and you're being told to organize your toy box and you find a toy that you haven't played with in a while, it kind of, once you find it and you still love it, you're like, that kind of just went to hell, because now you gotta put everything else back and just deal with this one thing and experience it again, because shit, I forgot I had it. Actually, in the case of these, it's 4 comics. I actually did not realize I still had them. I thought I had sold these things. Cat's underneath it. Okay. I thought I had sold them. And I'm actually pretty happy that they're still here, because if I had sold them in the method that I had sold other things like this, I probably didn't get nearly enough for any of them. Even if they aren't really all that valuable to collectors per se, they were valuable to me. And to find these again, it was like the kid finding the old toy that you forgot about. So anybody that knows me and knows a lot about my history involving comics knows I am a Death fan. Neil Gaiman's Death. If you don't know who Neil Gaiman is, look that up. And I would have to say that if you're watching this channel, you probably do know who Neil Gaiman is. But for those of you who don't know, he is a writer. He is also a celebrated novelist. He's a celebrated screenwriter. He's a celebrated comic book writer. In particular for the series Sandman, which has made news recently because it is being made into a Netflix show. So, and recently it made news because of the show, because they had announced the rest of its major casting. And one of the characters that they cast, obviously, was Death. And she has been cast. She's being played by, the name is escaping me right now, and I feel bad about that. But she is being played by the most lovely black woman, and I am excited to see this kind of flipping of races with this, because it's really a character that it doesn't matter what it is, and it's nice to see that representation. As regardless, I am a proponent for doing things where somebody made noise in the other room. It's kind of weird. Doing things in a way that you make new characters, create new content, create new representation. I am typically the most supportive of that idea, creating the representation with new characters that can speak to that representation. But even though this is not a new character, this is still pretty awesome, and I've waited years to see Death in real life, in real action. I love Death so much that I had her eye tattooed on me. It was my first tattoo that I ever got. My friend Donna went with me, and yeah, my first tattoo was a tattoo of Death's eye. Will you not mess with my glasses? River Ravioli had to mess with my glasses. See, I can't do this because there's a glare. You can like see it's like Inception Carrie here. Oh, are you gonna come in the picture? Oh yeah, he sometimes likes to sit on my desk while I'm working, and sometimes likes to get cuddles and pets. So I kind of saw him a little bit there. It was kind of cool. His name is River Ravioli, and if you have watched my channel before, you have heard of River Ravioli, especially because he decides it's usually time to be mischievous when I start recording. So, anywho, he is here. He is sitting with me. So what are the things that I found? Now, okay, you guys knew that I had Death, the High Cost of Living, all 3 issues. If you did not know, you know now. I have Death, the High Cost of Living, all 3 issues from 1990. What was it, 1993? Is it 93 or? Yeah, I think so. Somebody I'm sure can correct me on that, or I can just go pull the issues out of my storage. Okay, so what did I find? Okay, so I have Death, the High Cost of Living, all 3 issues, but what I thought I had sold was all 3 issues of Death, the Time of Your Life. All 3 issues are direct sale copies, in pretty decent condition. They were just sitting in this thing, like God knows how long, for probably a good, you know, several years now. 7 or 8 years maybe. Yeah, so this is the issue 1. And this is issue 2 of 3. Oh my gosh, isn't this awesome? I totally, like I said, they're probably not really worth all that much money. But I'm gonna tell you, it's not necessarily the fact that they could be worth money to me involving death. It's Vertigo's death is because this is issue 3. It's a personal thing for me. It's not necessarily something that it's like, oh, well, these, can make me a lot of money. I really don't think that they can make me a lot of money. There's a 4th one that I actually found. Now, this one was actually where the concept art of my tattoo came from. This is Lex Luthor's Action Comics number 894 from December of 2010. Death in Action. Again, in pretty decent condition. So check that out. There she is. Let's get rid of that glare. Yeah. So I had thought I'd gotten rid of these. I had thought that I'd sold them or something, and these were all direct sale copies. $3.99 cover price. Lex Luthor's Action Comics. Okay, so here's the deal. I remember this. She is there to collect Lex Luthor because she's death, and he kind of outsmarts her, even though, he sucks. Because Lex Luthor sucks. Anyways, so that was my major, like, oh my god, I thought I sold these and I still have them fine for today. That happened today. It was really cool, and I wanted to share that with you guys. So that was pretty awesome. So the one comic that I got this week, because I am primarily DC reader, was the Catwoman 2021 Annual. Check this out. Yeah. Okay, so here's the deal. I read it so you don't have to. Okay, I'm sure that if you got it, you've probably read it by now. It is 8:49 at the time of this recording on the 3rd of July. I almost said January. Jeez. Okay, so it's July 3rd. I'm sure that if you've gotten it, you've probably read it by now, or you're probably about ready to. But if you're expecting to see a lot of Catwoman in this, you are going to be disappointed. See, we've had like the last issue of Catwoman. Okay, now guys, if you've been watching me, you know I love Catwoman. I've been reading it since I got back into this, and I love Catwoman. I have loved everything except This past issue of Catwoman was pretty like, eh. And this one was, there wasn't a lot of Catwoman. I mean, in the last issue, you had Catwoman, you had Selina, but it was just talking about different ways that people know her. Um, this one, if the backstory, the origin story of the guy that that the Penguin has basically tapped / hired to kill Selina Kyle is of any interest to you whatsoever, then this is something you would want to read. It was interesting on that level. Um, but if you're looking to read a lot of Selina, you will be disappointed. It's not that there isn't any Selina, any Catwoman in the issue. It's just that it's right in the beginning and not a lot of it. And I mean, it does answer the question of what happened to Leo. So, if you're curious about what happened to Leo and how his story is going, then you can read it because it does talk about what happened with Leo. So that's good. That helps. So, yeah. So that is the only comic that I read this week. Unfortunately, there wasn't a lot that came out, and I did get the Teen Titans 2021 yearbook. I have not read that yet. And just, I'm taking my time involving that one because it doesn't really look like it actually contributes a whole lot to the current trajectory of the comic. It's just kind of, it's just there. There's other stories involving, it's other stories involving the whole, like, universe of Teen Titans. So what I'm going to do right now is I am going to talk to you guys about a few trades that I've read recently. All of them, hence my bright red makeup, my bright red lipstick, my Gotham Flamethrowers t-shirt. Guess who they are all about? Yep, it's your girl Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn, you know, she's my favorite. So, oh well. So let's talk about some Harley Quinn trades. Oh my goodness. I was doing a little bit of research involving, like, back when I first got back into reading comics and trades and everything like that. I did some research on where can I pick up with Harley. And there's this one that wasn't necessarily one that really had a lot to do with, you know, canon trajectory that we know of. Who knows? Maybe she'll end up in this position someday. But old lady Harley, who you calling old? Okay. So if you've been watching my channel for a while, the first time I think I brought this up, during my comic trade haul video. And I'd mentioned that I'd gotten it. I love this thing. It's just fucking fantastic. It is funny and a light read and funny and easy to do. Easy to read pretty quickly as Harley is, but very entertaining. And there is a really funny, like, ongoing joke in this where it's talking about all the men that she's married, all the people she's divorced. You have random cameos from characters like Lobo, Batman, like old Batman's in here, Catwoman, yeah, so there's a lot of different ones. So basically, in a future gone mad, Harley Quinn comes out of retirement, and that she does. You know what? One of the things that I always kind of loved about Harley is that she seems very um, she's her likeness to Tank Girl, which I want to read some more of that soon. But her likeness to Tank Girl, among other things. And so the synopsis here is: in a dark and twisted future, is there any kind? Is there any other kind? The one-time mistress of mayhem thinks she's wrapped up her final adventure, but when a rampaging gang called the Laughing Boys attack, she'll have to dust off her old baseball bat and take one last swing at a certain ex-boyfriend. There's just one problem. Harley already killed the Joker herself, didn't she? Um, old Lady Harley's quest to find the truth about Mr. J's return will take her from Arkham Retirement Home to the 51st state of Atlantis and back, and from President Power Girl to the Bane twins to Gotham's tyrannical ruler, the Batman. Everyone wants in on the action. Can the Crone Princess defeat these dystopian forces and still make it in time for the early bird special? Discover the answer in Old Lady Harley, the ultimate tale of everyone's favorite arthritic anti-heroine from the writer Frank Thierry and artist Inaki Miranda. It collects the full series of Old Lady Harley. I really enjoyed this. If you love the kind of zany stories of Harley, you love that, it's just kind of like a female Deadpool, you're definitely going to love this. Which is kind of what's really cool about Harley Quinn, except for there's so much more to her, obviously. But it's really cool. Like, I really enjoyed it. I do recommend that one. So one of the things that I was posting about on my Facebook page last night was I was talking about Harleen, which we'll get to that in a second. But first I wanted to talk about Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy. So there's the front cover. Very lovely. And there's the back. Now, one of the things, this is one of the hardcovers. So what's really cool is the art on the wrap, and then also, so you saw the front and the back, obviously, but so like you got on the flap here, it's really cool. Let me get the glare off of it. Yeah. So that's the front flap, and then you have, let me cover myself up here, the back flap here. There's Poison Ivy, but the other thing that DC seems to do like really great, and I'm going to show this to you because I love that they do this shit. Okay, so I'm going to take the wrap off, right? And I'm going to show you. This is the front. Look at that beauty. Oh my god, isn't that awesome? And this is what you get on the back, okay? It's really awesome. I love it. Now, the comic trade situation, you have, what's really cool is you have the variant covers obviously in the back. Some beautiful variant covers. The whole series actually had some really beautiful art. Let me get the cover back onto it here. Really beautiful art in the entire series. And it's really a great story. This actually, if you've been watching my regular review, Monday reviews, I actually recently reviewed the trade for Heroes in Crisis. Now this takes place after Heroes in Crisis. So you have basically the story for Harley and Poison Ivy after Heroes in Crisis, excuse me. This is when Harley is really starting to question if she should be a hero, and she wants Ivy to join her in that idea. So yeah, this is kind of where you're kind of seeing that. Oh my god, it's such beautiful art. Like, look at this. Look at that. So vibrant. It's, you know, the vibrant, beautiful art that you would expect from a Harley Quinn story like this. You know, it's basically Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy hitting the road and doing their thing. It's like, it's gorgeous. Look at that. It's absolutely beautiful. There's a reason why people love Harley and Poison Ivy together. See, yes, if the says Harley and Ivy hit the road. It's the reason why people love Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy together. And this book right here really shows that, really details it in a beautiful way. It's kind of a bummer ending, and I won't tell you much about it because it would actually be really great to read, but you know, I think it's just a beautiful story, and I do recommend it as well, even though I recommend a lot of stuff Harley Quinn here. But let me just kind of give you a little peek at the back here. The clown princess of crime is ready for a change. After the death of a superhero she actually liked, Harley Quinn is struggling to find joy, wreaking havoc in an already supremely messed up world. She's even debating becoming a real, true hero and leaving her chaotic life of crime behind. But her partner in crime, Poison Ivy, is not sold, and when the Floridic man shows up hell-bent on harming Ivy, the duo has to hit the streets to avoid him. Can Harley and Ivy survive this wild road trip? Okay, so there you go. The Floridic man is after Poison Ivy. They have to go on the road to try to avoid him. They have to deal with other things happening around them. The Mad Hatter shows up in it. You also get a Batwoman sighting, which is really cool. I do like that. I do recommend it. So the last one I'm going to talk to you guys about, like I said, I just finished it. It's this absolutely beautiful, beautiful piece of work. Oh my god. This is one of those things where, like, it's a New York Times bestseller right here, a comic. Okay? And it is Harleen. It was published on the DC Black Label because, yes, it is a bit adulty. And I'm going to mispronounce this name horribly. Please, please forgive me. It is by art and story by Stefan Seljuk. This is my guess. Stefan Seljuk. I'm, I've had jobs where if there's like a weird name and people don't know how to pronounce it, they sometimes come to me because I do tend to guess them pretty well. I don't know. I don't know involving this one. I know that it's goddamn good. I know it's the most fucking awesome thing ever. Maybe not ever, but it's fucking awesome as fuck. Yes, I said the F word multiple times here because it warrants it. So here, Harleen, absolutely beautiful telling of the Harley Quinn origin story. Okay, so and this is art and story done by him. So oh my god, like just look at the inside here. Just look at this. Look at this. Oh my god. Like the road to hell is paved with good intentions. On that road I saw a pale man and he smiled at me. Holy shnikes, baby girl. Okay. So and then this is like no, and like in typical that I found DC style, they have spared no expense making this book absolutely fucking beautiful with the cover art, obviously. So you have the actual cover art on the wrap here, and then you have, here's the back cover. I'm showing that to you first. The spine is very similar to, except it's a red on black instead of a white on red for the Harleen. Um, but oh my goodness, like that is absolutely beautiful, and it's kind of reminiscent of an actual scene in the book. Obviously, we know who Harley Quinn is. We're not really giving anything away by telling you that she ends up with the Joker. So, um, yeah, like it's just absolutely beautiful. And so basically, this is another retelling of the origin story of Harley Quinn. And it starts out with her as Dr. Harleen Quinzel, and she is doing a experiment. She wants to do an experiment, a study, in regards to the idea. She wants to find the exact moment where someone might be sympathetic and empathetic, and they lose their empathy, their ability to show empathy. Um, and obviously that's kind of how she's just like, you if you study somebody long term, you can actually try and pinpoint where they became a sociopath if they weren't born that way. So interesting, so good. And so she ends up doing this study, and she goes to Arkham, and she meets a whole bunch of different inmates and studies them, and one in particular, strikes her fancy. And at first she fights it tooth and nail to not be so interested in the, clown prince of Gotham, but she just she can't help it eventually, and she does. Obviously we know it's Harley Quinn. So, but the thing is you all know the story of Harley Quinn. You all know how she ended up with the Joker. Well, what you don't know is this version of the story. And this version of the story, I'm sorry, I'm trying to deal with River as well right now. Here we go. This version of the story is absolutely beautiful. Some of the most beautiful art. I swear to God. Let me find a couple non-spoilery images maybe that are just absolutely okay. So like that is killer right there. It's a Batman and Joker spread there. And let's see here. See if I can find any others. And it's her. A 2-page spread of her talking to other inmates and then not being able to sleep and having problems with that. And we've got fireworks going off too now because it's, the 4th of July weekend. Of course. Yeah, so she interviews, people like Poison Ivy, and the Mad Hatter, and eventually she can't fight it. She has to go ahead and sit with the Joker. And it kind of scares her at first. But then you've got, she deals with everything she's been dealing with. And absolutely, just absolutely. There's this one really, let me see here, really beautiful one. I am trying to find it. No, that's too far. This one is really beautiful as well. Yeah. Um, trying to find one. There it is. There's one that's really beautiful of Poison Ivy. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. Um, And Poison Ivy, you know, helps Harley out because Harley was actually very kind to her. And so the doctor was very kind to her, so she helps Harley out at one moment. So, yeah, highly recommend that. That's really good. Um, it seems like, you know, retellings of Harley Quinn's descent into madness are a dime a dozen, honestly. But it really is cool when you see someone do it that beautifully, and that it's like telling the it's like what do you do when you're telling the same story, but you get to do it all on your, you know, get to tell your version of the same story, and it's like, oh crap, you know, like this thing is right on the fucking money. It's beautiful. So wow, okay, so didn't have a lot of comics to talk about, but we did talk about some trades, and you saw some awesome artwork, which I adored. I hope you did too. Let me know what you thought of any of these, or you know what? Even let's talk about the retro comics here. You know, let me know what if you've ever read Time of Your Life, Death Time of Your Life, or if you've read the Lex Luthor action comic where she is in it, and let me know what you think of those. Think if you know let me know if you're excited about the Sandman series coming to Netflix. I know I am. Um, and let me know if you've read any of these trades for Harley, or maybe you read the single issues when they came out originally, and let me know what you thought of them. Um, and yeah, let me know in the comments, or um, hey, but you know what? Also, do those usual things that you do on, you know, YouTube, where you like and subscribe and share this video with your friends. Okay. Um, we got a lot of stuff coming up though, like some really exciting, some really exciting shit coming out. We've got I Am Batman coming out in August. That's exciting. We've been given a preview of a number of things coming out. We've got the new Superman series with Son of Kal-El. We've got the continuation of the Crush and Lobo series, the little Crush and Lobo series coming out. We've got we got continuing action involving Batman. I looked ahead to August. Ah, yes, I knew it was coming. Something got a little bit confirmed for me in a synopsis, and I'm pretty excited. And it's particularly in regards to a Batman comic, and I don't know how you guys are about it, but I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to let you be surprised because um, it's something that I pretty much was like, I know this is gonna happen soon because it has to happen because the storylines are going like this. I can't wait. I can't wait. The storyline going like this, and everybody gonna go like this, and it's gonna be woohoo. I'm really getting into this a lot. Listen, parents, if you want to keep your kids off drugs and basically make it so that they come home every night, get them into comic books. They'll have no money to go anywhere or do anything, but they'll be entertained and they won't be high on the crack. Anywho, okay, so guys, that has been the officially unofficial Geek Channel comic roundup for this week, and happy holiday weekend to everyone. When you are sitting around and at your barbecue, please remember what you're celebrating I'm loosely quoting the movie Dazed and Confused right now. Please remember what you're celebrating, that a bunch of white aristocratic slave owners didn't want to pay their taxes. All right. Hey guys, stay geeky. Bye.